Guys, when I was in my 20s, I did a lot of things that damaged my brain, killed some of my relationships, and made me a whole lot slower and dumber, to be quite frank with you. Okay, and what I want you to get out of these next couple minutes is an understanding, is a conscious awareness of these 7 bad habits that are killing your relationships and maybe your brain as well, that you can start to, avoid, start to slowly chip it away, so that way you can become your highest version of yourself. And there's a reason you're here. There's a reason you clicked on this video. It's probably, maybe I'm wrong, it's probably because you're ready. You're ready for change. You've been waiting for a sign to just get on with it and move forward. Maybe you're stuck right now and you just want to progress, but you don't know what's holding you back. Maybe you're trying to start a business and there's not enough time in the day. But I'm telling you, if you get rid of these 7 bad habits, there is going to be time. There's so much time. There's time for everything if you make it. All right. So number 1 is excessive screen time. Guys, prioritizing digital devices over in-person interactions is terrible. It can weaken the connections you have. It can reduce the quality time that you're spending with your partner or your mom or your dad or your little brother. Okay, you got to understand that the real world, what's in front of you, is more important than what's in here. All right, and I'm talking about social media, specifically Instagram and TikTok, right? You constantly compare yourself to others on these social media apps, which can lead to insecurities. Which can lead to, dissatisfactions in your relationships, wondering why you and your partner aren't getting engaged like them on Instagram. Think about all the time you've spent scrolling when it could be placed into more important things, like spending time with the people you actually care about. It's that simple, all right? Number 2 is celebrity news fixation. Focusing too much on the lives of celebrities can distract you from your own personal growth and your own relationships. And honestly, it's going to create all these unrealistic expectations, wondering why, your wealth isn't there, why your beauty isn't there, why your lifestyle isn't matching that of Brad Pitt or Sydney Sweeney or whoever the hell, you look up to. You're always going to be, Hollywood has 10, 20 steps ahead of us. You're always going to be chasing this lifestyle that you see online. Whether it's through celebrities or influencers, whoever, it's an endless chase and you'll never feel satisfied at the end of the day. And you're going to lose a sense of self-worth along the way. Okay, so number 3 is consuming negative news. Guys, the constant exposure to negative news can just lead to a pessimistic outlook on life. And it can increase your anxiety. It can create fear, affecting your, personal well-being and your relationships. Every time my mom sends me something online, it's always on the premise of negative news. And I've explained this before, but it's true. And at that time when she used to do that, it was always revolved around, shootings, bombings, just car accidents, people drowning, XYZ. It was terrible. It would ruin my day. And honestly, it made me more fearful. I'd be more cautious of when I go out, who I'm hanging around with, if I'm able to go to a concert or a festival, because I'm always wondering, what if? And I'm not telling you to neglect these things. Be aware of them, but don't let it control you. It's going to ruin your brain and your just outlook on life. Your time here on earth is finite. So why live in fear? Why live in negativity? Don't let these news outlets win. They're intentionally penetrating your vulnerable weak points because they know as human beings, we immediately are gravitated towards negativity. It's never positivity. If you think about it, it's always negativity that we choose first. Oh, what can we do better? Oh, why didn't I do this? Why did she look at me like this? Instead of, wow, you know what? I did this. I'm proud of myself. So number 4 is viewing porn. Excessive porn can create just unrealistic expectations and honestly affect the intimacy you have with your relationship and your partner. I have a friend who views porn quite often while he's in his relationship. And it sucks because I can see just a gradual lack of affection that he's building for his partner. And it sucks to see because it's not her fault. It's just his choice. He's creating these unrealistic expectations that honestly, it's just a fantasy. It's all fiction, what you see on porn. And one, it's going to make you slower. It's going to make you less energized. But more importantly, it's just going to ruin the intimacy you have with someone. You're always going to compare it to what you see online, and it's never going to be that. We all know that. It's never going to be as amazing and as exotic and as wicked as it looks, online. So do yourself the favor. Do your partner the favor. Do your future partner the favor. And eliminate porn. Start living in the now. Start experiencing the experiences and just be here. And just be happy with it. Number 5, guys, is overworking. Constantly prioritizing work over personal life can lead to a neglect in your relationships and increase stress. I have friends who wish I was around more often, who've told me they miss me. And that's because I used to choose work over friendships. I would never water my friendships, and that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned after graduating college is, Sebastian, you're not gonna be able to maintain these friendships unless you water them. It's like watering plants. Your plants will die if you don't water them, just like your relationships. And I'm telling you, work is the top of mind for everyone. I get it. It's how we live. But it's not who we are. Work won't be with you when you die. Work won't be there at your funeral. But you know who will be? Your partner, your mom, your dad, your little brother, your friend, maybe your dog. So take a step back and ask yourself what's really worthwhile. What's more important? Number 6 is substance abuse, guys. Using alcohol, drugs. While I don't have experience with drugs, but alcohol, yes. Using this to cope with stress can really negatively impact your health, and it can create a lot of tension in your relationships. And I as someone who's been 5 months sober now, I see the difference. As someone who was in a fraternity, who partied every weekend and was always around alcohol, bouncing in and out of frat houses, I see the difference. That used to be someone who didn't prioritize the important things in life, who was more focused on women, more focused on his self-image, finding self-worth and validation from others, versus now, I'm someone who just loves me for me. Someone who's willing and able to have a fun time without anything. I don't need anything anymore. I can be my most extroverted self because I realized alcohol was just a mask. And I promise you, once you get rid of it, or at least try living without it for a month, you'll realize you never needed it in the first place. That you can be your most authentic self without it. And people love that. People want to see that most authentic self version of you. Okay, so the last point I want to talk about is gossiping. Engaging in gossip can lead to a mistrust and could damage your reputation. It could be harmful for, both your personal and maybe your professional life. And I think we need to start normalizing talking about the things that excite us in life, our passions, our desires, our goals versus people. And I'm guilty of this. I talk about people too, and I'm telling you what, karma has a funny way of biting you in the ass. All the negative energy you put out there will come back around. If you talk shit about someone, shit will be said about you or done to you. I'm a firm believer in that. What you put out is what you get back. Okay? So the more good, the more positive things you have to say about someone, the more positive and good things you will receive from the universe. Whether it's verbal or tangible, things will pan out the more good you put out. Okay? So anyways, guys, what I'm trying to say is you can make this switch today. You don't have to behave in a negative way anymore. You're simply choosing to indulge in these bad habits if you partake in them. It's your choice. No one's forcing you to be on social media, to consume news, to watch porn, to drink alcohol, to gossip. You're the only one holding yourself back. And if you really want to advance, if you're really in the game of evolution, then you need to drop these. Okay, and take it baby steps. Take some baby steps. Drop one at a time. Can you stop social media for a week? Can you just put down the alcohol this weekend? Force yourself not to buy it. Leave your wallet in the car, all right? Make this shift today because the future you will thank you. Anyways, guys, go ahead and subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.